I just filmed this entire intro only for the audio not to be picked up in my mic. So I have to film again. So if I look tired of speaking, that's why. Okay? Hello, hi, welcome everybody to my channel, Starless Reads. My name is Leah and I'm so happy you're choosing to spend some time with me today. Today's video is going to be about new releases that I'm super excited about. I just recently purchased a couple of new releases and I thought that reading them all in the same reading vlog would be like really fun. And I think a lot of people are excited about these books. So yeah, I'm just excited about all of these. They're all by authors that I love and trust. So let's get into the TBR, what I'm thinking of reading in this video. The very first book is My Friends by Frederick Backman, and this book is, I'm assuming, about friendship because of the title, and I also think it's about art. Yeah, there's a painting. I'm not exactly sure what this is about, and I like going into Frederick Backman's works not knowing much. He writes literary fiction, and I really trust his writing. I love his humor. I like how he brings characters to life and builds them up in such complex and round ways. I really like the themes he usually writes about. I think I'm really hoping to have a nice time with this. I haven't read one of his books in a long time, but I have read Anxious People, Bear Town, and A Man Called Ove by him, and all three of them were like groundbreaking. So good. I think my favorite is Anxious People, but yeah, all of them are so good. So I am really excited to dip into this and like give it a try. The next book I picked up has an hideous cover. I really don't like most of the covers for this author's work, and that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Nothing against the author. I know that authors have pretty much no say in what their books looks like. I really don't like any of her book covers, but I still like the books enough to keep reading them and purchasing them. So this is her newest release. I've read pretty much everything she's written in her famous people world. So like Seven Husbands, Daisy Jones, Malibu Rising, Carrie Soto. I've read all of those. I've read most of her works. I haven't read her romances from before she wrote all of those famous people books. And I think with this book, she's going back to romance in a way, but also still writing a bit of lit fic. I'm not sure. I'm hoping this has a nice balance of lit fic and romance. But it does say a love story in the subtitle, so we'll see. I was hesitating to pick this one up, honestly, because at first I thought it was going to be a lit fic, a bit like her famous people books, but the subtitle kind of made me stop in my tracks, and I was like, wait, is this book going to be for me? Like, I'm not the biggest romance fan, but then I saw that the romance was between two women, and then I was like, okay, maybe it is for me after all. I'm not heterophobic, I swear. It's just, I have straight friends. So yeah, this book is about Joan. Is that her name? Joan Goodwin, and it's set in 1980s US. Around NASA's space exploration programs, and she is one of the astronauts taking part in those space exploration, and I believe she falls in love with another astronaut. That's all I know about this. I think this is going to be a love story, but also talk about women in male dominated fields It's going to talk a lot about space and our place in the universe. I'm hoping. I hope. And yeah, I'm going into this with the expectation that it's going to be a romance, and I hope that that way I don't feel disappointed when it's focuses so much on the romance, you know? So yeah, this is my second book on this TBR. And then last night I just received my pre-order for Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by v.e.schwab. This book is gorgeous. First of all, the cover, the dark, deep blue roses with the yellow text. It's just this font. It speaks to me. It scratches my brain. And this book is also signed. Wait. It's signed. This is my first signed book ever. And I'm kind of freaking out. So, v.e.schwab, what have I read from her? I've read Adele Rue, of course. I've also read Vicious, Vengeful. I've read some of her middle grade. What is it called? Like something Ghost, City of Ghosts. And like the books where the girl can see ghosts. I've read a couple of those. I've read Shades of Magic. I've read a lot by v.e.schwab, and I think she's a very multifaceted author, and I trust her for this. I think this is an historical fiction set in 3 different timelines. There's a timeline in 1532 in Santo Domingo de la Caldaza. There is a timeline in 1827 in London, and then 2019 in Boston. I think this is about vampires. And I also think there are sapphics in this. So I'm really excited about all of this. Bury my bones in the midnight soil, plant them shallow and water them deep, and in my place will grow a feral rose, soft red petals hiding sharp white teeth. Yeah, so this is definitely about vampires because sharp white teeth. And yeah, I'm excited to see how those 3 timelines go together. Obviously, if there's an aspect of vampirism, maybe there's some like eternal beings that can go through all timelines. I'm just excited to see what happens with this. Oh, there's something at the back. Okay. 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, and one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. Okay, so their bodies planted in the same soil. So these women die. And do they come back as vampires? Genre-defying novel about immortality and craving something more. I think this is going to be very much like Adele Rue in that it's going to toe the line between litfic and fantasy. I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this. How many pages are there? Okay, it's like a 530 page book. That's quite steep. Oh, I didn't even look under the dust jacket. Oh, it's a rose and it's bleeding. Okay, I've talked enough. I've talked enough. All 3 books for this videos are in the blue tones. It's so beautiful. I'm going to start with Atmosphere because I've actually already started this book. I'm on page 24, so barely started, but still. And I'm going to be reading this today. Today, the weather is so nice out, and in the late afternoon, it's supposed to be raining / storming. So I'm going to go outside and read and like really enjoy the nice weather before it goes away, you know? So I'm going to start with this. And then I'll keep you updated when I have some updates. I'm really excited about all of these. Hello, I'm here with a book update. I'm here with my dog, actually. Kitty, kitty, kita, kita. Come say hi. Come say hi. How cute. Okay. He wants to be left alone, I think. Okay, so I'm here for a book update. I'm on page 70 of Atmosphere, and I can now speak about it a bit more. So this takes place in two different timelines. The first one, the one we begin with, is the present timeline, and Joan, the main character, is currently supervising a space mission, and something goes wrong. So that's how everything begins. Like, the book begins with the space mission where everything goes to shit. And then we go back to 7 years earlier. So this is the past timeline. And in that timeline, we see Joan starting the NASA program, meeting new people, making friends, making connection, finding herself. And I just read a big chunk of the past timeline, and I'm about to go into a current timeline chapter, so I just wanted to give a little update before that. So I really like Joan as a character. She, at least in the past timeline, she really focuses on the small beauties of life, and every time I see that in a book, I love it. It's such a simple concept, but I really like it. She is really appreciative of the small things, and she loves her work so much. She's obsessed with the stars and the universe and all of that. And I don't know, it's really nice to read about her because she has such a passion for the small joys of life. She's not only like an astronomist, but she also does a lot of creative stuff. Like, she draws and she plays piano and she reads. So I can still connect with her a lot, even though she's like super big brained, you know? And something really fun. So right now, Joan is like not really into dating because she doesn't really like men. Wait, I'm gonna stop for the sirens. Okay, I think the sirens are gone. So yeah, she's not really into dating because she doesn't like men, and she didn't figure out yet that she likes women. So she's kind of in this weird in-between phase where she's like, men suck and dating sucks, and I don't want to do it. She said at one point that kissing was like eating a cracker. She's so funny for that. She also just had a moment where she said every time she imagines married life, it makes her feel gloomy because getting married to a man, to her, is like the worst thing that could happen to a woman. And I'm like, girly, marry a woman. Of course, this is set in the 80s, so the culture is really different, but I don't know, like, girly, yeah, I really like those little moments where it's like subtle queerness of being like, yeah, I hate dating. No, girl, you obviously don't because you flirt so much with that one woman. So anyway, I'm gonna keep reading, and I have such cute company. So cute. So cute, aren't we? Hey guys, it's the next day from when I last spoke to you, and I have so many things to tell you guys. I'm going to try to make this update quick and short because it is so hot in my apartment. I don't have AC and I have to turn the fan on for updates. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. But last night I finished Atmosphere. It was so good. I basically read this entire book in one day. If you don't count the 20-ish, 25 pages I already had read, I read like 300 pages of this yesterday because it just was that good. It was that good. I remember how at first I was scared of this being too romance heavy for me. Turns out the romance was actually my favorite part of this. Like, I loved the romance. It was delicious, amazing, fantastic. This was the perfect romance for me, honestly. It was so good, so like sweet. They had like this deep love for one another, and we really got to know the characters even in such a short amount of pages. And I don't know, like their lives and everything, like it felt like a warm hug. This book, okay, a warm hug. And then you get to the end, and I did cry at the end. I'm not gonna spoil or say anything really, but yeah, just how the book starts, you can kind of guess why the end is sad. So even if you've only read the first like 10 pages, you probably kind of can take a hint as to why the ending is sad. But then the ending is like still hopeful. I would say this is an overall like really happy, hopeful book. I usually don't read a lot of like happy books. I mostly read like the happiest books I could read would be like fantasy, but usually when I read lit fic, it's quite sad lit fic. So I don't know, I really enjoyed this one. I loved Joan as a main character. I loved everything she thought about the world, her family. She has such interesting relationships with people in her family. It just felt so true, so real. And I'm just really, really happy that I enjoyed this book. I really was scared at first, but turns out like this is one of my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid books she's written. I think, do I like this more than Daisy Jones and the Six? I think I do. I really think I do. Like, this is just so like happy and hopeful, and sometimes we need that. Okay, I'm sweating. Can you guys tell? If you can, don't tell me, okay? But yes, if you're looking for a sweet, kind of cheesy, maybe, I don't know, is it cheesy? Yeah, it had some lines in there, but it's the kind of cheesy I love. Like, oh, I'm so happy that, what was it? All she could think about was how grateful she was that the Earth was 93 billion miles away from the sun today, far enough to be warm but not too hot, just the right distance for life on this planet. And she thinks that as she hugs her, she's grateful for life on this planet because that means she got to meet her girlfriend. Like, that's the kind of cheesy I love. If that's too romantic, too intense for you, this is not the book for you. And if you were looking for purely lit fic, this is also not for you, but also maybe give it a try because I was looking for lit fic and I got this and I love it. I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, it was really good. Anyways, so first book of the video done in like one day. And then today I didn't have time to read because I was at work all day. But now I have some off time and I want to start Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is a chunky one. This is the chunkiest of all three books I want to read. It's over 500 pages. And I'm going into this knowing pretty much nothing about this. So, I don't know. I'm just going to start reading and hopefully I have an update for you guys soon enough. Good morning. I have to make this update quick because I'm working in like an hour and I still have to get ready and get to work and eat and everything. But I have an update for Bury Our Bones. I read a bit last night and then this morning I read some more and it put me to page 58. So I don't know yet exactly where this is going. From the three POVs we know we're going to get from this book, I only read from two so far. So the first one is Maria. She lives in Spain, in like rural Spain in the 1500s, and she realized that she's a woman and that basically she's gonna get married off. So she basically masterminds her way through this arranged marriage that she knows she will have no choice but to be in, and she wants to be in the best possible arranged marriage she could be in. So she seduces like a viscount and she wants to marry rich, she wants to travel, she wants to see the world, she wants to live, she wants to leave her small town, and that's what she does. But quickly she realizes that maybe this marriage is not what she wants, and maybe that marrying this rich viscount is not the way to get her freedom. I'm excited to see what more happens with Maria. And then the other point of view I read from is Alice. Alice's timeline is in 2019. She is originally from Ireland, but the point of view takes place in Boston, Massachusetts. She moved there for school, so she is 18 or something in her first year at uni, and she is a very anxious character. She struggles a lot with how to present herself and how to make friends, how to navigate college life and everything. I relate to Alice in many ways. She is a lesbian. She doesn't know how to make friends, and she also puts so much pressure on herself to, with this new university life, have this new herself, like this new Alice, someone who's not as anxious, someone who's more outgoing. She wants to become this new person, and she thought that this fresh start would allow her to do that, but turns out that's not that easy, and anxiety doesn't work like that. Like you could just stop being anxious because you choose to do so, because you made a big life change. That's not how it works. But I relate a lot to Alice because of that. I found myself doing that as well in my life. So yeah, so far both point of views are interesting. I like reading from both women. We get like lesbian hints from both women, so I'm hoping that all three point of views are sapphic. I really hope so. If they're not, 2 out of 3 is still good. And I'm also interested to see where the magical elements comes in. At the very beginning of this, Alice hooks up with a girl at a party. The girl is named Lottie, and we get a very brief point of view from Lottie. I don't think she's like a main character or anything, but when we got a point of view from Lottie, the timeline for her was interrogation marks. Like Alice is 2019 and Maria is 1534, but Lottie was like, So that's kind of weird. And she was kind of weird as well. She was like, oh, I'm a ghost or something. I'm not sure so far. Maybe she's a vampire, because I'm only saying that because the book is advertised as a vampire book. So maybe Lottie was a vampire. I don't know. I don't know where the vampirism comes in. I don't know where all of the timelines connect and where all the women connect. Like they have hundreds of years separating them. So it's kind of strange in a way, but I'm open-minded. I'm excited to read more. it won't be right now because, like I said, I have to get to work. But I am going to bring this with me and hopefully be able to read some in my dinner break later. So I'll see you guys later with another update. Please don't mind my appearance too much, okay? I'm tired. I have some updates on Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Last night I got to page 192, so almost 200 pages into this, a little bit less than halfway through. This book is enjoyable, but it definitely had a very slow start for me. I was kind of expecting it because it shares some similarity in structure to Adele LaRue because of the play with time that is happening. So in Adele LaRue, she makes a deal with the devil to live forever. And in this one, they're vampires. So there's this same kind of playing with time, immortality, and yeah, so it really reminds me of Adele LaRue in its pacing and in its structure sometimes. But yeah, so the beginning was definitely slow to start. I would say even slower than Adele LaRue for it to get like magical, for it to get vampire. Like vampires were introduced maybe like 80 pages into this, which I think is a lot of pages. But once they're introduced, I'm really, really enjoying them right now. I like consuming content about vampires because I like how each time the lore on vampires is a bit different. Do they actually burn in the sun, or is it just uncomfortable? Can they go into people's houses uninvited or not? How do you turn into a vampire? What can make a vampire die? Like, I always enjoy those because everyone knows the lore, but the details are always a bit different from one story to another. So I'm really enjoying getting to know vampirism in this context. And because we're getting two different point of views, we get two very different experiences of vampirism. I will say, however, that so far the two point of views feel like two different stories completely. I really can't see what ties both narratives together except for vampirism and lesbianism. Like, those are the two things, but other than that, it's like quite unrelated, and it feels like two completely separate stories. So I'm curious to see why were these stories put in the same book. I'm intrigued, definitely. I'm also intrigued. We have not yet met our third point of view. It's 200 pages into this. I want something else to happen because if it keeps going exactly how it's been for the first 200 pages, I'm going to be bored. Like, I need for us to have like a target, a goal, something we want to achieve, like not just the life of a vampire over decades and decades, because that's kind of boring to me. Like, I want us to want something and achieve it. Okay, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Today I am not working, so I'm going to read some more and I'm going to update you guys if anything happens, if I get more interested in this book. So far, it's not that I'm not interested, it's just I could get uninterested really quickly if the pacing or stuff like that doesn't change. Like, I like the vibes, I like the themes. I need the plot to go somewhere, you know? Anyways, excited to see still, okay? We're not giving up on burying our bones. Let's read. There's a heat wave going on, and I don't want to turn off my fan because I could possibly die if I did. And I also don't want to close my window. So I really hope that the sound is coming through right. If it's not, fuck my life, I guess. Okay, I just checked and it sounds like the mic is picking up the sound okay. So, praying, thank you. I'm praying that this clip goes alright. But yeah, like I said, we are reaching record heat. We are in such a big heat wave right now where I live. And yeah, it's horrible. My apartment doesn't have AC and I'm really dying. So today I'm probably going to go over to someone's house who does have AC because I'm off work and I don't want to stay in this environment for the entire time. Like, yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. But you're not here to hear me talk about the heat. You're here to hear me talk about books. And I have an update for you. So I've been reading and I'm now more than halfway through. I'm on page 332 of Bury Your Bones. And I said I would update you guys when the plot finally picked up. And to me, I feel like it did pick up at like the 300 page mark. Finally, something happened that I've been wanting to happen for like the first 300 pages. And I have some comments on this, okay? I'm still enjoying my reading process. Like, I wouldn't still be reading this if I wasn't enjoying it, okay? I'm such a good DNFer, not to like toot my own horn, but I DNF books when I don't like reading them. Like, I just brush them off. It's not a big deal for me, even though I purchased this and even though this is a pricey hardcover, like I would DNF this if I was not enjoying it. I'm enjoying it enough to the point where I want to keep going. I want to know where it goes and I'm interested in reading. However, I have like two major points I want to say on this book. And I don't think they're spoilery, at least to me, it's not a spoiler to say those things, okay? First point is that I think this book needed more editing, okay? It is a 530-ish pages book, and so much of it, to me, is unnecessary. I also feel like this could be the kind of book where some people would love to have more of it. Some people would say none of it is unnecessary and they just love being with the characters. That's fine. I just haven't clicked with the characters and I feel like a lot of it is unnecessary details on their really long lives. Like I said, we're dealing with vampires here, so their lives is like really long. And I sometimes wish we would jump to the important points in their lives, or like make the plot tighter. Yeah, I just feel like we're spending a lot of time on a lot of shit that doesn't really matter to the plot at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's my first point. I think it needed more editing, and that's just what I feel about it. And my second point is that in some ways, it is extremely similar to Eddie LaRue. And in those ways, like, I think I mentioned that earlier, like, both books deal with someone being immortal. In Addie LaRue, Addie made a deal with the devil, and she lives forever, but nobody remembers her, right? In this book, the characters live forever, but they have to deal with all of the downsides of vampirism. And I sometimes feel when reading this, like I'm reading plot points or like ideas that the author had when they wrote Addie LaRue, but didn't work with a character who no one could remember, right? Like, you can't do everything with Addie LaRue because people don't remember her. So I feel like sometimes it kind of feels like the author, they had a lot of ideas, right? And they just wanted to write Addie LaRue type immortality where a character can live like 1,000 lives because they're immortal. But she also wanted people to remember the characters so that it would make more sense. And that's completely speculation, okay? I don't know. I'm not the author. I'm not in their head. I'm just saying, like, the two books in their historical snippets are really similar, like eerily similar at times. Both like take place in Europe and America mostly, and yeah, like it's hard to describe, and I don't want to spoil anything. I just feel like I was reading and I was like, okay, this feels like Addie LaRue if people could remember who Addie is, right? And like I said, this is just my opinion, but it does feel like eerily similar at times to the point where I'm like, okay, could we do something a bit different? The tone also is really similar to Addie in a lot of places. So yeah, I do really like the vampiric side of everything, and I do also really like how every main character is a lesbian or like a sapphic. That's really, really cool. And I really like it. I was hoping, like jokingly hoping at the beginning when I was introducing this book that every character would be gay, but turns out they actually are. And that's really, really wonderful because this was sold to me as lesbian vampires, and I was scared that it would only be one point of view out of three who would actually be a lesbian vampire, but turns out all three are, which is so rare. With multiple point of view books, that every point of view is like queer. That's so rare. So I'm really enjoying that part. Yeah, I'm divided on this, okay? And being similar to Addie LaRue is not necessarily a bad thing, because I did really enjoy reading Addie LaRue. It's just, I wanted something really different with this. And it feels almost like an alternate universe in some ways. I don't know. I feel like all of my thoughts are a mess. I hope people understand what I mean. So yeah, I'm going to update you guys. I'm hoping to finish this book really soon. I'm free today and tomorrow. I did make some plans to go and finally finish painting my aunt's house because I've been doing that for like a month, I feel like, and it's still not done because I've been so busy with work. But I'm probably going to finish the paint job like today or tomorrow or both. Probably both. Yeah. Is it too ambitious to say I want to finish it today? Like, that's 200 pages. I feel like I could. I just really need to focus and finish it. Because guess what? I opened my Goodreads app yesterday, and turns out I'm one book behind schedule on my reading goal. And that is so homophobic. Like, why would you do this to me in June out of all months? Like, okay, I know that Goodreads reading goals are not that serious and that this is such a first world problem. I just don't like seeing the little thing saying I'm X amount of books behind. So I was thinking, should I just like, you know, change the number to make it not behind anymore? But no, I think I could catch up, hopefully. And if I don't, then I'll probably change the number because there's no rules here, okay? This is not, there's no rules here. I do what I want, okay? And this is my life. It's my Goodreads, and I do what I want. So if I lower the amount from 100 to 90 books on my Goodreads challenge, mind your business. I'm going through stuff, okay? I'm gonna leave you here. I'm gonna come back if I have other stuff to say. There's stuff to yap about, you know. Hi, I'm back. It's still as hot as it was this morning, but I have an update. I finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by v.e.schwab. I finished it a bit earlier. It's now, what, like 7:30 p.m. or something? And I think my thoughts really haven't changed that much since this morning. I have similar feelings about the last 200 pages than I had the first 300. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you feel about the entire book. I think the very end was well done, but to me, an ending is not enough to save a book. So yeah, I liked it. I did not love it. I think it could have been better, but for what it was, I'm still grateful. Like, as a sapphic vampire book, it was still good for it to exist. Are there better sapphic vampire books out there? Yes, definitely. Um, yeah, I really didn't mesh with the plot of this one as much, which is, it's really sad, honestly. I'm really looking forward to this book for, like, since I knew it was coming out. So, kind of sad. I'm a bit disappointed, but, you know, you can't love every book. And yeah, I don't rate my books. I know most people rate their books on like a 5-star rating. I don't do that because it stresses me out for some reason. And then it makes me mad if all of my ratings are not like perfectly, exactly encapsulating what I feel about a book. So yeah, I'm not gonna rate this because I never rate anything. I'm just feeling like, oh, happy this exists. Not for me, I don't think so. I will be keeping it on my shelf for now, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm just feeling very torn about this book. Pick this up if you are feeling like reading a book that is very slow paced as Abdul Rue, about vampire lesbians instead. Toxic vampire lesbians. That's pretty much it. I will say though, points for this book. As slow as the actual pace of the plot was, the chapters were all super short, so you can fly through it pretty quickly, even though not much is happening. Anyways, I'm done with my second book of the vlog, which means I can move on to the last one, which is My Friends by Frederick Backman. I'm excited to start this one. It's about 430-ish. Yeah, it's 430-ish something pages. I'm going to just start this and give you an update when I have more information about what this is actually about, except like friendship. Hello. It feels like it's been 25 years since I updated this vlog. Who'd have thought that when you're working 40 hours a week, you have way less time to read and then film your silly little YouTube videos about your reading. So yeah, I haven't had much time. It's been days. It's been really a long time. I don't know the last time I spoke to this vlog, but we're doing this, okay? Today I have a free day and I have some updates to tell you guys. So last time we spoke, I think I was starting My Friends by Frederick Backman, and since then I have read to page 146 in the book. So not yet halfway, but we're making some good progress. And today, I'm planning on maybe trying to finish this. We'll see. I'm gonna try to read a lot of this for sure, but we'll see what happens, okay? Because I don't want to force anything either. But, my friends, okay. So, from what I've read so far, it is once again a multiple timeline, multiple POVs kind of story, which means that every single book I will have read for this vlog is going to be like multiple timelines, multiple POVs. So in this book, we follow one timeline, which is the present, in which we meet Louisa. At the very beginning of the book, Louisa breaks into an art exposition to see a very famous painting from a very famous painter, and she just wants to see the painting in real life because it means a lot to her. She just recently lost one of her best friends slash foster sibling. She has had a very difficult childhood, teenage years. She's about to turn 18, so she's still really young. And yeah, she just wants to see this painting once in her life, okay? And then the other timeline is following the artist that painted that same painting as he is young and he is navigating life with his friends at around 14, 15 years old, and their life is also very difficult. So it's dealing with a lot of topics. I would recommend checking out trigger warnings, but the way it's handled is, I think, really well done. It's not lingering too much on the horror of it all while still acknowledging some of the horrors of life. It's doing it very tactfully, I think. So yeah, so we have those two timelines, and they converge. And this book feels extremely Frederick Backman in a way that all of his books feel that way. And if you've read any Frederick Backman, I think you know what I mean. His style of writing is very specific. It's sometimes even a little comic like. I don't know, it's unreal. I'm not trying to say I don't know how to say this, and what I'm trying to describe is not a diss in any way. Like, I love his books. It's just the way he writes, especially dialogue, but even internal thoughts, feels very unreal. Like, it's not real life. It's more of like a movie, maybe. Like, it kind of feels like movie dialogue. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, once again. Because I actually like the way, like the kind of unreal way that everything is. It's like, you know, when a movie is heavily stylized, but it's an artistic choice, like it kind of feels like this. Frederick Backman also does this thing in many of his books, which is like everyone is connected. Everyone, like, you would never know that the person you smile to on the street is actually someone really important in the story, you know? Like, everything is connected. He likes to link people, and that also adds to the element of being like heavily stylized, because in real life, like, yes, there is a chance that if you talk to some random stranger on the street, it could turn out to be like someone important to you that you didn't even know existed, like your missing grandmother or something. I'm saying bullshit right now. It could turn out to be your missing grandmother, but it also could turn out to be only a stranger, because there are a lot of people in the world. But in his books, it's often like a very small cast of people, and everyone is connected. And it does turn out that the people you meet on the street are closer to you than you might think. And I think, once again, that is a stylized choice. I think Frederick Backman is aware of how some of his choices are unrealistic, but he still makes just choices to speak to human nature and the way we behave, the way we think. All of this to say, this very specific style of his is working really well in the story. It's a story about art. It's a story about friendship, about loss, about grief, and the people we want to be for our friends, the people that shape us into who we are. It's a really beautiful story. I teared up last night reading the last couple of pages I did before bed. I'm enjoying this, okay? I'm definitely enjoying this. I'm just thinking, am I feeling a little bit less connected to this than I was to Anxious People? Maybe. We'll see. But so far, it's like super good. Really good. I'm really enjoying this. So I'm gonna keep reading today, and I'm going to update you guys on everything that I read. Do you guys want to know what has been on loop in my brain recently? It's Megan from Cat's Eye going, "You're just a gay boy."
You're just a gay boy. I am trying to play boy.
That's going on at all times in my brains. Like, I'm thinking about you, not thinking about you. That's the vibe for me right now.
I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about you.
And that's really just it for me. Yeah. I'm here to close out the vlog. Yay! After what it feels like an eternity, I finally finished the 3 books I was so excited to read in the first place. And I'm so happy. I read all three of them. I honestly, I have impeccable taste, if you know what I mean. Like, I really do know what to read. I have impeccable taste. I'm going to start by talking about My Friends, which I just finished this morning. This is the latest Frederick Backman, and it's hard to describe Frederick Backman to someone who's never read Frederick Backman. He writes very cinematic books, in my opinion. Like, his writing reads really movie-like, and it's simultaneously those very, very like cheesy feel-good movies and the so sad movies you want to die. So it's that combination of like movies that make you feel so sad, but also so melted inside because of love. Okay. This one is no exception. It's really good. It talks about friendship. It talked a lot about familial relationships between children and their parents, especially in like lower economic classes, and how that impacts everyone. It talked about friendship between kids and then friendship between adults. And it talked a lot about art. And I love how art is talked about in this book. It a bit made me feel like when I first read I Will Give You the Sun. Is that the title of this book? I Give You the Sun? I'll Give You the Sun. I'll Give You the Sun, I think. I have it right there. I should probably go pick it up, but I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna put it on the screen, which also talks about art a lot and how it is a form of love, how we use art as human to express our love into the world. And I really, really hope that this author never stops writing, because I'm gonna keep reading everything he writes. I'm just happy that I'm alive at the same time as this author is alive and writing, and that I can keep looking forward to new novels by him in the future. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, I'm so grateful, thankful. This was beautiful. I loved Louisa as a character. I think I preferred the present timeline with Louisa and then grown-up Ted. And I really liked the past timeline as like a story that you tell, but I really prefer the present timeline of Louisa and Ted. I'm trying to speak about this in a way that if you read it, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't read it, I'm not spoiling it because I don't want to spoil anything about this. And then, I also wanted to like make a note on how craftful Backman is about making the reader assume things about the story, but then making the reader feel so sure about something in the story. Like, oh, that's what it means, because you're a reader, so you know how stories go and how things unfold, so you just assume stuff, but then it turns out to be like something completely different, and actually that's not what happens at all. And he does that a lot in this book. He also does that in Anxious People, if I remember correctly. And I really like when he does that, because I'm always like, oh my god, I should expect it by now, because he does it often, but I still don't expect it. I still assume things, and I'm still wrong, and I love to be wrong for this author. So I'm really happy. I did cry a lot this morning. I did get a bit of footage of that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put it in this vlog, because I don't know, ego death or something. But also I can just live my life. I don't know. So, quick wrap up of everything I read in this vlog. Atmosphere, Taylor Jenkins Reid. So good. So good. One of my favorite of the year. I love this. It was so, so good. Just thinking back on it makes my heart feel warm. I did cry. Bury Our Bones. Really cool concept. Fun lesbian vampires. I always want more of that. Was it my favorite book of all time? No. Am I glad I read it? Yes. Could it have been better edited, a bit shorter, a bit refined? Yes. Do I still recommend it? Sure. I have seen a lot of like glowing reviews on this book recently. So many people are like, this is my new favorite book of all time. So maybe this is for you. I just think there was something missing for me personally. I'm so glad I read it, and I'm still like tiptoeing. Should I keep it? Should I not? Like, should I give this to someone who would love it more than I do? But look how gorgeous the cover is. Like, come on. And then this one, which is also one of my new favorites of the year. I'm so happy. Like, I've been reading so many great books recently, and I have so many great books that I'm looking forward to. And I'm really grateful. And I'm happy that I finally finished this vlog. Just a yay, boy! So, if you want to see more videos like this, you should maybe subscribe, because I have impeccable book taste. And if you want to also have impeccable book taste and amazing reading experiences, you probably should watch more of these videos that I'm gonna post in the future. I promise. And I hope the next one won't be in like 2 months. I'm trying my best out here. It's just that it's tough. It's hard to make times for your fun little hobbies when the capitalistic society is pushing you down, and also when real life people wants to make plans because it's summertime, and I also want to see my real life people. But I barely even have time to do that. Anyways, I need to leave now. It's been a while. I'm done talking now. Okay, end screen time. Bye.